What's up, everybody? We are back on another episode of Pound for Pound. I am the Nigerian Nightmare, Kamaru Usman.
Henderson Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
A Shadow Line production.
My man, Triple C. Hey, you see what I'm rocking right now? Is this too much self-glazing right here? Would you call that self-glazing?
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that, Kush? What you got on there, Kush?
What? You don't see that shirt? You don't see that you don't see that monster right there? You don't see that boogeyman right there?
Damn. What?
Yeah. Is that too much self-glazing? Is that how what they call the kids are calling it nowadays, right?
Yeah, gaslighting. There's a bunch of new words. It's funny, but look at my shirt, Kush.
What is that?
For the Mexicans,
Who is that?
it's just a bunch of skulls and mariachi bands, Day of the Dead.
Oh, that's not the same. That's not the same. You're not self-glazing.
Hold on, well, let me glaze a little bit more, Kush. What do you think?
Okay, that's heavy. Wait. But I don't know. That's not the same though, because that looks like a chick hat. That looks like that looks like you're going to church or something. Okay, that's better.
It's a sombrero, bro.
That's better. That's better now. You know, the way you had it kind of like this before, it looked like you was a chick going to church. So
all lives matter, Kush. All lives matter, bro.
My dog. All right, Henry. We got a lot to catch up on real quick, man. And of course, UFC 319 taking place this weekend from Chicago, Illinois.
Even better than that damn news, the UFC just freaking got its licensing right from Paramount Plus for $7.7 billion. The last one was for 5 years with ESPN Plus, and it was for $1.1 billion. In other words, Kamaru, we rich.
You speaking a lot of French nowadays. We.
Where's that 7.7 going, Kamaru Dean?
You gonna have to ask the powers that may be, but you speaking all this French, this ain't no we, bruh.
Parlez-vous français?
I don't speak that, but I know exactly what that we means.
No, but Kamaru, I mean, that's a big congratulations, bro, to the UFC. Whether we see any of it, that's a big congratulations to Dana. And supposedly, President Trump was a big part of it. Again, these are just speculations, man. They're saying that potentially the UFC's over, but Dana White just did say, is that, hold on, pay-per-view's not dead yet. And a little bit of, I think they're going to take the model, a little bit of what the WWE does. They're probably going to do a big event with like the SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, the Elimination Chamber, I believe. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that the UFC could do. But man, to me, what mind boggles me a little bit for 7.7 and they still want to do pay-per-views, I think, man, the UFC really got their money, but it's the business and Dana White and what the UFC's doing. So, I mean, congratulations, man. Like, I'm just wondering how that works for you, me, and everybody around us, Kamaru. Don't dodge the question.
Dodge what question? I'm not dodging anything, but yeah, I agree with you. Big congratulations to the powers that may be, UFC, everyone at TKO for getting this done. Obviously Dana, Hunter, my man Mark Shapiro, and if they saying Trump has something to do with it, I don't understand in what capacity, but that's above my pay grade. Big congratulations for all of them. This is such humongous raise, and this goes to attest to what UFC did for ESPN Plus, because Henry, don't forget, you were one of the first event to take place on ESPN Plus to kind of launch that thing. And I believe that deal was read up immediately after within that first year, I believe. So yeah, when they start to see numbers like that and what UFC did for ESPN Plus, I mean, it only makes sense for Paramount, who is a growing network, Paramount Plus, I believe, was a growing network, to say, you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and give them that, because the The numbers make sense. And of course, now you factor in what pay-per-view was pulling in, which was the extra money that was being paid, that was coming in. So you factor all of that in, man, I think it makes sense. And I think those numbers are comparable. But yeah, huge congratulations. I mean, for Dana to say the pay-per-view is not done, that means one, okay, yes, we're gonna get the, but all the big fights throughout the year that won't necessarily be pay-per-view. But why not if let's say a guy like, rhymes with Hones, decides that he wants to come back and take on a challenger, and then you go ahead
So
and
you
stack
Brazilian now, huh?
as Honey Hones, you know what I mean? So, so you go ahead and you throw that on the card, and you completely load that thing, and another, fighter, we bring somebody in like Hansis G. Ranu, something rhymes.
Okay, all right.
And
I'm trying
yeah,
to piece up
I'm,
these riddles.
I'm saying you bring in giants like that, then of course you can do a pay-per-view that you can charge maybe $40 for or something like that. But I think this is a big move for not just the UFC, but also for the fans, man. Henry, it was so annoying that you're paying that $15 a month, and then all of a sudden you get hit with this $80 to watch, some fights. Man, you know what? I just want it. Give me that 150. Just slide that out. Boom. Just let me just get all the fights every week. And I like this. I really do like this. I think that's better for the consumer. So yeah. I mean,
yeah, but real quick, Kamaru. I mean, obviously, we got to ask these harder questions. What about these championship fighters? I remember, you made a grip on pay-per-view. I just saw that you and Masvidal did 1.3 million, bro.
what you
You
mean you
guys,
made a grip? A grip? How
no.
you know?
No, it's public, bro. It's public. They had
That was the number of sales in pay-per-view. That doesn't mean I made $1.3 million.
Oh, you made more than that off of pay-per-view. I know it. I've made more than that off pay-per-view. So
Word?
come on.
Damn, they pay you more than
But
me.
that being said, Kamaru Dean, how does that work with the fighters who are champions and the fighters that do receive pay-per-view points? I know, that this is why the BMF, bro, is important, bro. Like maybe the UFC could just start a BMF for every weight class. I mean, there's a way where these fighters could be rewarded, but what happens with that pay scale? I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered. I mean, people are saying that the move has made the UFC mainstream. Is this the big step in the right direction for the sport? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, I feel like the UFC is the one that's trend setting with every other sport to where it's raising its value because the UFC is not necessarily yet maybe at the NBA level, the NFL level, but it is stepping on the toes now, bro.
Well, I think you have to really some of the things that you just said there. I think didn't really correlate. With the pay. What is the purpose if they're doing away with the pay-per-view? What's the purpose of having more BMFs? Because those aren't necessarily considered titles. But what's the purpose if they're doing away with the pay-per-view? It really serves no purpose. I think to answer your question, Henry, I don't know. I think this is a conversation that obviously now managers have to have when they go and negotiate your contract. Is what is, hey, we as a champion we no longer have pay-per-views, so how do you compensate my guys now? How do we get that done? So and then it's also it's less pressure for the fighters to some fighters to have to do uncharacteristic things and really focus on the fighting. So I mean,
You're always
they
poking at
might.
me, Kush.
Nah, I'm not poking at anybody. I'm just saying, fighters now might not have to do magic shows, on the on
Damn it.
but you know what? I to answer your question, I really think now it's going to have to. It's going to be determined by the managers actually having a conversation when they go to renegotiate your contract. I think that's when maybe, yes, maybe now the company is going to be open to seeing, okay, yeah, let's make it worth your while since you are a pay-per-view fighter, and now we're doing away with that. So I'm anxious myself to see what that does for fighters increase, especially pay-per-view fighters. But
I mean, think about it, Kamaru. 7.7 billion, bro.
I
Paramount
don't even think
Paramount
about it. I understand.
Paramount is worth 6.9. Like, you wonder what there's something behind that they're willing to invest into UFC. I mean, Paramount gets it. I do believe that the UFC will become the greatest sport in the world. Like, I didn't believe it at first. Dana always thought it, but man, the trajectory that the sport is going and the amount of countries. I mean, think about it, Kamaru. There is no male American champion in the U.S. Like, when has there not been a champion coming out of the U.S.? Granted, there is a lot of fighters that train in the United States, but as of right now, the U.S. has no champion. I mean, what does that tell you, Kamaru? That the world is just worldwide, dude, and it's special when it's special when the Americans are just not dominating like that no more. So, and I'm kicking myself in the ass because I take pride in that, but at the same time, it lets you know that the world is getting better.
Absolutely, I agree. This is a sport that I've said really knows no culture, knows no language, and knows no educational level. There's no barriers here. So as long as you're blessed with these two things and 2 feet, you can train and you can train and definitely try to change your stars, as I like to refer to it as. So, I think it's big things to come for the UFC.
Kamaru Usman, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors at PrizePicks.
PrizePick is the ultimate way to turn fight night into win night. From football and basketball to the UFC card this weekend, they've got you covered.
Here's how it works. You pick more or less on a few fighter stats, significant strikes, fight time, takedowns, whatever you like. If your pick hits, you win.
And if you use code P4P when signing up, you'll get $50 in free lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. You can prize pick in over 40 states, including California and Texas, and they're going to hook you up.
If you play PrizePicks and beat my picks this weekend, DM our producers proof of your payout, and I'll personally give you a shout out on our next week episode.
This is going to be an awesome card, and there's no better way to watch it than with PrizePick. Just use code P4P and download PrizePicks now.
With that being said, Kamaru, I can only say, man, you're a company, man. The UFC loves you. I do believe your pace is about to go up. But let's talk about the Nigerian nightmare. It's either in Hollywood or Hollywood, bro. But tell me a little bit about your cameo in Naked Gun, bro. I had so many texts, people telling me, "Hey, did you see Kamaru in the new Naked Gun movie? Battling your boy Justin Gaethje." I'm like, "No way." So when now that I saw it, you wanna let me in on this? Got beat,
Hey, what
bada
you mean
bing,
by
bada boom.
what you mean by that when you say Hollywood? What you mean by that?
Oh, I don't know, bro. You
Just
tell me.
asking for a friend. What you mean by that? Hollywood? What you mean?
You tell me,
Huh?
my brother.
No, yeah, this was a movie that we did last year. Myself and Justin. It was actually a little bit more extensive than that. They obviously, for the movie purposes, they do what they do and they cut a lot of things out and kind of put it together the way they want. But it was fun. It was definitely fun to shoot.
Did they cut your news scene, Kamaru? Oh, they're trying to poke people in the eye.
Pause. Jesus. Pause, Henry.
Just gotta. Hey, everybody else is thinking it. I'm just telling you.
No, they didn't cut that, but there was a lot of jokes. Obviously, that movie is a parody movie. There's a lot of different jokes in there, and they cut out some of the jokes that we had in the movie, but nonetheless, it's fun to do these sorts of things, to have cameos in here. Justin is kind of let's just say he's a natural at
Really?
just letting him be himself. I don't know about talking. Let's maybe not let him talk, but actually, I can't front. He's actually pretty good as well. If you haven't seen his commercials, He's actually pretty good.
Are you telling me he's a better actor than the former Black
Whoa,
Panther
whoa,
star? Is that what
whoa,
you're telling me?
whoa,
Is Justin Gaethje a
whoa.
better actor than the Nigerian Nightmare?
Relax, bruh. Relax. I didn't say all that.
Just
I did
asking a
not say
friend.
all that. I did not say all that. But I do think Justin is very good. I mean, you've seen him in commercials before. If you haven't seen his Trojans commercial, go watch that. If you haven't seen his what is it, Jose Cuervo commercial, you should go watch that. So yeah, Justin definitely has some talent. He can do his thing there. So, but it was fun to shoot. I mean, imagine being on set with your bro and just being able to shoot and chill and act all day. So it was fun.
Damn, that's what's up, man. Well, congratulations on that, bro. Without further ado, bro, let's get down to UFC 319. What's up, Kush? Let me have it.
UFC 319 going down in Shot-Town, Chicago, Illinois. You got Dricus du Plessis. I just like to say his name like that. Don't come on. That's just what I like to say. DDP taking on Khamzat Chimaev. This is a fight that everyone's been waiting for. I myself has been waiting for. I think it's going to be a fantastic one. You know, people have their picks, and as I'm hearing, there's a big favorite. There's a favorite. Well, I don't want to say big favorite, but there's a favorite. The challenger happens to be
That
the
surprised me.
favorite.
That surprised me, Kamaru. I mean, obviously, like for what Dricus has done. I mean, for who he's being, the fact that he's gone 5 rounds, and the fact that he is not the favorite, or at least close. Like, dude, Hamza Chimaev is a man. You can almost say he is. I don't say a big favorite, but he's favored to win this fight, which surprises me. I mean, did you see them both come
Why?
up together? Hamza just reached out to I don't know if you saw this, bro, but let's play the clip right here. I mean, look at the size of Hamza, bro. But I will say this, come on, this is where people got to realize it's all about the angle. Right here, if you notice, like the back angle, and this is how, if anybody knows, it's probably you, Kumaro. The way how Hollywood, the way they use the cameras, like you can be an inch shorter because I believe DDP is 6'1" and Hamzat is 6'2". I mean, you as a fighter getting ready to fight, I know you, and I know you don't like the handshaking. You like to keep it kind of a little bit of rivalry in between. Do you think this is good for either fighter going into this fight this Saturday?
Yeah, well, for one, I don't think it's surprising that Khamzat Chimaev is the favorite. I mean, when you're able to go in there and dispose of former champions like Robert Whitaker in a round and pretty much a lot of guys the same way, I don't think yes, the fans are not the fans, but the odds makers are seeing that and they're going, you know what? We think this guy's the favorite. And not to mention, Hamzat's not fighting 3, 4 times a year anymore. You know, for I want to say the latter part of the last 2, 3 years, he's fought maybe once a year. So that's a lot of time for your body to recover. He's fully grown into that middleweight division. And so, yeah, I have no problem with whether he's the favorite or not. Who cares? I've never cared whether that guy's the favorite or not. You got to go out there and you got to do your job. And if DDP is the champion that he says he is, he doesn't care either. He's going to go out there and he's going to do what Dricus du Plessis does well, and that's go out there and win. So I don't think he cares.
Yeah, but can I tell you something, Kamaru? I don't know, dude. I have a lot of
What's up?
faith in DDP. Even though Hamza Chimaev did say Kamaru Usman is the toughest opponent that he's ever fought, as of now. DDP's different. DDP's he's a real middleweight man, 185 pounds. He can scramble off a bottom. I mean, I think that's one of his biggest traits, bro. Like, you take him down, DDP's just moving, scrambling, doing his thing. Like, you remember when we had Israel Adesanya, and he was like, dude, he's the guy that does everything wrong, but it tends to work for him. The fact that he's wiry, I think makes it different. Yeah, do I believe Hamza's going to beat him in that first round? I do. But going into the second, going into the third, fourth, now fifth, man, I can see this is where DDP gets good, man. DDP knows how to put the pressure. He gets better as the fight goes on. I disagree with people counting out DDP. I disagree. People counting out the king of Africa. Yes, Kamaru Dean. I said it, the king of Dan Africa. I don't think people should count this dude out. It's ironic to me that he is not the favorite, bro. It really does, man. He's proven himself to go 5 rounds. What he was able to do to Sean Strickland. I do believe that DDP is going to get the job done in the later rounds. Even if it goes decision, I am going with the King of Africa, DDP.
You know, you had me until you said some stupid things like that.
Well,
That
why, Coach?
you
Why?
had me until you said that. Anywho, I
Oh,
don't
nah,
understand.
dude, not
I don't
regardless. Come on.
understand why you would. I don't understand why you would say that people counted. Listen, Khamzat Chimaev has been able to go in there, and we said this. You know what? You came on this show and you said that Robert Whittaker was going to be able to stop the takedown and go out there and beat Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat went in there and made it look easy. You said he made it look easy. Not to mention, he went in there against a wiry Kevin Holland who can scramble. He went out there, made it look easy. Listen, and don't forget, DDP hasn't really fought a wrestler since Derek Brunson.
Or
And we
Tavares.
saw how that fight was looking. Or who?
Brad Tavares also took him down.
That's Brad Tavares is not a wrestler in any form at all. Brad Tavares has good wrestling, but Brad Tavares is a striker, a really good striker, but not a wrestler.
Kamaru
We saw the last time he wrestled. We saw the last time he fought a wrestler. That was Derek Brunson, and we saw how that looked in the first couple of rounds. You know, Derek just, eventually, I believe, gassed out, and DDP does what he does best, and that's DDP will not give up. That's what we love about him. He will not give up. DDP will continue to try, and if DDP continues to try, and if Khamzat Chimaev hasn't done his work with that cardio, then I see DDP definitely turning this one around. But for me, this is a very, very tough one, but I think Khamzat Chimaev might actually go out there and get it done.
Wow. Hold on, Kush.
Because, let me explain, because also,
you had your time,
if you look at the landscape of where we are right now, it's almost like every so often we get a turn. We get a new generation of guys that come out and just become the superstars of the game. I mean, you're talking Conor McGregor out of nowhere, the superstars of the game. You're talking about Alexander Volkanovski, Israel Adesanya, the superstars of the game. You're talking about Ilya Taporia, the superstars of the game. And now, right now, look at the landscape. We got the Tom Aspinall, and you've got potentially Khamzat Chimaev. And if Khamzat Chimaev is able to go out there and get it done, he becomes what? Only the third undefeated champion in company history.
Yeah.
So
Khabib, Ilya Taporia. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think the stage is set for him. And man, I'm
Kush, can I get my 2 cents? Or is this the Kamaru?
I thought you
show?
I thought you just talked. You just picked.
No,
I did your guy.
I did pick, but
yes.
you had a lot to say. One, I'm surprised you're going against your fellow African, the Four Horsemen. Two, that dude struggled with Gilbert Burns, bro. Look at the fifth. And then 3, Latin replacement, Kamaru Dean Usman. Guess what? I feel like if he had 2 more rounds, the fight would be a little bit different, Kamaru. So I 100% disagree, and I gotta stick with DDP. And that being said, let me give you my price pick if you really want to know. Do you really want to know, Kamaru? Is this the Kamaru?
Not really, but if you're gonna give it to me anyways, go ahead and give it to me.
Bro, I feel like this fight is going to go past. I'm gonna go past 1.5 rounds for price pick. I just think that's just a great pick for me, dude. The total amount of rounds. I feel like a Kamaru. I feel like these guys are prepared. I do feel like DDP has done his best to prepare himself to withstand that first round and then carry it on leading into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So That being said, I'm going over 1.5 rounds for Dricus du Plessis.
I like that. I think that's a really good pick. For me, for my prize picks, I'm going to go with less than 22 significant strikes in the first round for Dricus du Plessis. Because as we know, Khamzat Chimaev is a savage in that first round. He's very, very relentless with that takedown. And if that's the case in this fight, and Dricus is busy fighting off all those takedowns, hey, that's not a lot of time to be sitting there trying to set up those significant strikes. So I'm going to go with less than 22 significant strikes in that first round. Now, moving on to the co-main event of the evening, kind of a later replacement. We're talking about the newcomer, the phenom, Aaron Pico, taking on Lerone Murphy all the way from England. And I mean, Henry, if there's a finish in this fight, do you think the winner gets Alexander Volkanovski next?
Oh, 100%. 100%, man. I do feel like the winner, and I do feel like Aaron Pico's going to get it done. One, his wrestling is superior. Two, his hands are absolutely lethal, bro. This guy goes to the body, comes up top. I mean, this guy has stoppages when he was fighting for Bellator and PFL. Punches to the body. He knows how to break the body down. And when he has to use his wrestling, the wrestling is coming in. One, he's come out to fight ready and work with me firsthand. So I've been able to really diagnose and see his ability. I thought the fight with Ilva was a great fight for him. I think this is a tougher fight for a guy like Aaron Pico. Lerone Murphy is freaking good, bro. He's unpredictable. I do gotta give him his credit. He's an undefeated fighter. He stopped my boy Ricardo Ramos. I mean, he beat her. He had a really close fight with Dan Ige, but he was able to squeeze it out at the very end and actually win. But I just feel like Aaron Pico it's just his time, Kamaru. I want to say he's 26 or 27 years old. This dude is ready to take he's ready to take the world, bro. So for that reason, I do feel like with a stoppage of Aaron Pico, he will fight for that featherweight championship once again. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
You could be. I think this is a very tough one here because I liked the Evloev fight because I believe there was an avenue that both guys were going to utilize to potentially win the fight. And in this fight, I think you're dealing with a much dangerous opponent in Lerone Murphy because I think this man is extremely well-rounded and can definitely fight 5 rounds with no problems. I think he can mix it up. I think he has good wrestling. He has good counter wrestling. He has good strikes, and not just with the striking. He's very intelligent. He's not willing to be lured into a brawl if he doesn't have to brawl. He's willing to dance around if he has to dance around and try to find the right strike. So I think this is a much tougher fight tactically for Aaron Pico coming in. And to be honest with you, I don't like the odds of these newcomers lately. I mean, we saw it with Patricio Pitbull coming in. We saw it with Patchy Mix coming in. These newcomers coming in, it's been a little tough for them. I would love Aaron Pico to be able to get it done, obviously, because I have a close personal relationship with him. So I'm going to pick Aaron Pico. But I think this is a very, very tough and dangerous fight because Lerone Murphy has been able to do, getting past Josh Emmett, get past Dan Ige. I mean, this man is a real deal. So, but I'm going to go with Aaron Pico because I think he's young and he's talented. And I think he's very, very hungry to be in the UFC and prove that he's one of the best in the world. Okay, so I'm going to go with Aaron Pico.
So guess what, guys? I have Aaron Pico by knockout. We will hear and from Albuquerque, New Mexico, Aaron Pico.
All right, Henry. Now let's see what PrizePick has to say about this matchup between Pico and Lerone Murphy. Let's go to the PrizePicks. I want to say less than 3 takedowns for Aaron Pico.
Oh, wow.
I think this is going to be less than 3 takedowns. Yes, I think it's going to be less than 3 takedowns. I think you can't just come out there and wrestle a guy like Lerone Murphy because I think he's just too well-rounded. And he has excellent footwork. So I'm gonna go with less.
I got you, Kamaru. You can take the damn takedown. You can take that to the bank if you like. It's really a good pick. But I gotta say less than 48.5 significant strikes. I feel like Aaron Pico is just the power in his hands, the fact that he goes to the body. Once he clips you, he puts you out. So again, I'm going less than 48.5 significant strikes.
For a
How,
guy
how
calling knockouts, why are you saying he's gonna throw less than 48 significant strike? I would have went more, but that's you. If that's your pick, that's your pick. Moving on, bruh. Going to the next one, we got Hands of Steel, Geoff Neal. Go, ooh, you like how I said that backwards? And that kind of rhyme, People go Geoff, Hands of Steel, Neal. I don't really like that. Gotta hit him like this. Hands of Steel, Geoff Neal. Ooh, they need to put me as the announcer. Taking on our boy, Carlos Prates.
brat, brat.
I'm about to say, you gonna leave him hanging? Man, this was originally booked for UFC 314, but unfortunately, Geoff Neal had to pull out, which led to Prates taking the fight versus Ian Gary on short notice in Kansas City. Unfortunately, Carlos Prates dropped that fight, but he's looking to rebound here. And like you said, he's definitely, picked out some things that he needed to work on. And I'm hoping he's done that. But there's a couple of things, Henry, I'm hoping he didn't change, because we did talk about it. He said maybe he might change some things. I'm hoping he didn't change them, because those are some of the things that I love about him that just make him so, likable to me. So I ain't going to say that. I'm just going to wait till the recap after we watch that fight.
You think he stopped smoking, Kush?
Hey,
And he says,
no.
cigarettes.
He said, that's my lifestyle. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Don't do it. But I like to have fun. And I love that about him. So,
Yeah.
hey, he's not saying, hey, this is how I do it. You do it this way. Yeah.
Allow me to break this fight down, Kamaru D. Let me tell you something. Geoff Neal, he's a great striker, bro. If you don't remember his name, Kamaru, I'm gonna remind you, he has a win over Bilal Muhammad. He knocked out Vicente Luque. He knocked out Mike Perry. Geoff Neal likes to strike with people. He likes to bring that pressure and strike with them in that pocket. But there's one thing that Carlos Prates does very well, is he likes to throw that knee up the middle. I mean, the way he caught Roddick with that right knee, I believe, bro. This guy is able to time. He knows how to fight backwards, and that's where it's tricky. He's gonna have to protect that lead leg, and particularly if you saw that last fight with him and Ian Gary. Ian Gary hit that lead leg, and he was able to catch him with that damn jab. So there's gonna have to be a patience, a composure with him to weather that storm and catch Geoff Neal. Geoff Neal himself said this fight ain't going past 3 damn rounds. Like, in other words, he's proclaiming, people tend to proclaim that. Like, that shit's about to happen. He's saying someone's going to get knocked the F out. And that being said, I do believe that Carlos Prates is just too smart, bro. He's too good on his feet. He times that right knee. And if he times that right hand, he reminds me a lot like your boy, Alex Pereira. So for that reason, I have to go with my boy, Carlos Prates.
Man, this is also an intriguing fight. I think both guys are really, really close and evenly matched, especially stylistic wise. Yeah, you're right. With a guy like Geoff Neal, you're not gonna get him changing levels and potentially trying to take you down, which, as we saw in Prates' last fight, what's his name? Gary was able to do that. Gary was able to mix it up, get him down to the ground, and kind of frustrate Carlos Prates as the fight went on. And of course, Gary moves a lot. A lot. A lot of people would call it running away from the fight or evading the fight. But no, he has his footwork. He knows how to stay on the outside. He knows how to move, kind of lower you to sleep, hit you with the jab, maybe change levels and get you down. So with a guy like Geoff Neal, you don't expect, you're not going to get that. Geoff Neal's going to come at you. He knows he's got hands of steel, and he's going to exchange with you. But the one thing that I've been seeing a lot lately from Geoff Neal is just sometimes in the fight, he kind of I feel like he kind of gets lost in the fight. You know, his resets are kind of like reset, and he kind of seems unenthused in the fight there a little bit. Now, if he's able to do good work, go forward, and he's landing his strike, you can see him continue to press and push forward and try to potentially get the finish. But with a guy like Carlos Prates, who's going to come at you as well, he's very good in the distance, very good with his range. He's a taller guy. I think this is a tough one for Geoff Neal. I want to see a phenomenal fight, but I think Carlos Prates is just a little bit younger, is a little bit more enthused, and he's looking to definitely bounce back after that last loss. So I'm going to go with Carlos Prates. But Henry, as always, let's see what our guys over at PrizePicks got for this fight. For me, I know, Henry, you said that these guys said that they're not going past 3 rounds. They're not going to 3 rounds. But I agree. I disagree. I think this one goes to the decision. So I'm going to go with more than 2.5 rounds.
Wow. Okay. Significant strikes, dude. I'm gonna have to go with. Oof. I'm gonna have to go with more, bro. I do believe this fight someone's gonna end up getting stopped, but I'm going to say more than 45.5 significant strikes for Carlos Prates. I'll tell you what, man, Geoff Neal has been through some battles, bro. Like, he was doing so good with Shavkat until he got choked out. I mean, actually, Shavkat did dominate him, but it took Shavkat to put him to sleep in order to put this dude out. So that being said, I do believe that this fight right here is gonna be fight of the night, but I have to go with more than 45.5 significant strikes for Carlos Prates.
All right, Henry, moving on. We've got Jared Cannonier taking on MVP Michael Venom Page as he stays up at middleweight for this one. I think this is a very, very tricky fight. Because
But look at me, Kamaru.
as we've seen, as we've seen, MVP is just a difficult guy to fight. If you can't get a hold of him, then he's just a very, very difficult guy to be able to fight. And I think, Jared Cannonier is a guy that I would never sleep on, but I just think Jared Cannonier is a little too stationary sometimes to be able to fight a guy like MVP, who I believe you need to get a hold of. You need to make it rough and gritty and grind on him in order to be able to get him out of there, because he's a guy that's extremely sharp, man. So it's a tough one, but I'm going to go with MVP here on this fight.
No way, dude. Dude, people are counting on Jared Cannonier, bro. Jared Cannonier, when he's on, when he was able to
No.
No, what?
I'm not counting him out. No.
But you
I'm
are.
not counting him out. Like I said, I'm not counting him out. I'm saying
MVP.
I'm saying
Jared
styles make
Cannonier.
fights. No, that doesn't mean I'm counting him out. That's me saying
so
that
you're
I
not
think for
picking
a
Jared
3-round
Cannonier,
fight,
so you're picking
it's going to be different.
MVP,
Yes.
but you're not counting out Jared Cannonier. That's called counting him out. Jared Cannonier has a lot of experience.
Not true.
He's a really big middleweight, and he brings in something that MVP has always struggled with. And you know what that is? It's called wrestling. Jared Cannonier, bro, when he's on, he is on. He's going to grab a hold of him. He's going to take him down. He's going to drag him down, and he's going to beat him to a pulp. So that being said, I have Jared Cannonier either by stoppage or decision. It's ironic to me that people are, and I like MVP. I like the MVP. But I just don't see him beating Jared Cannonier, bro. I'm sorry, man. Jared Cannonier is too big. He's too solid. And he possesses wrestling. For Jared, the killer gorilla Cannonier.
What you mean by that? When you said gorilla, what you mean by that? Huh?
Come on, God, dude. Don't make this about race. Come on. That's his nickname, bro. That's not
He is the killer gorilla. He is the killer
I said the
gorilla.
Mexicans don't
But,
like me now.
man.
Now you trying to turn the blacks on me, dude? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Wow. Anywho, now we get to the first fight on the main card. We've got Elliot taking on Kai Asakura. man, we're looking for Asakura to kind of step in here, his second UFC fight after getting that title shot coming in. And this dude's just, he came in as a superstar, with the bleached blonde hair. He had the see-through shirt on with the chest out, you know what I mean? He came out with the, what does they call him? The Superboy or whatever they call him. I don't know if that's his name, but hey, he definitely look like a superstar when he came over here. But hey, he's going up against a Tim Elliott, who Tim Elliott, I believe, was the former did
Title
he win
challenger.
the Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, he won
It
the
was a
Ultimate
former
Fighter,
title challenger. Tim
and
Elliott is a former
and
title challenger.
and Kamaru, Tim Elliott, he took Demetrius Johnson to 5 rounds, bro. Like the dude could. I would love to beat his ass. Honestly, I was wanting to fight him at 125 pounds, and that fight never took place. But the dude's scrappy.
Oh yeah, Tim Elliott is a seasoned vet. I mean, a guy that is definitely, is a tremendous, was a really, really good wrestler out of the University of Central Oklahoma. We scrapped against them back in the day a few times. So I know Tim Elliott very, very well. So this is a tough one for Asakura. But I just feel like Asakura, being as dangerous as he is, being able to land those knees and being able to put it together, I got Tim Elliott.
Wow. So all that for Tim Elliott.
I think if Tim Elliott's still able to fight the way he was back in the day, really putting a lot of pressure on you, really putting a lot of strikes on you. If he watched what Pantoja did, he's going to understand that that's what you have to do. You have to overwhelm a guy like Asakura. You cannot let him find the strikes, let him find that knee, or let him find that uppercut. So you got to really put pressure on him and just keep him flustered. And so I think Tim Elliott did his homework. And for that, I'm going to go with Tim Elliott.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna have to disagree, dude. I'm gonna have to go with Asakura. I just feel like if he's able to get his lateral movements down, catch him with those big strikes, I think it's doable for him. I hope he learned from his last fight with Pantoja, because you are right, Kamaru. He pressed him, took his back, and then obviously Tim Elliott's dangerous, bro. He's dangerous because of his grappling, but I just don't feel like he's not a Pantoja. You know what I'm saying? Maybe takedown wise, but when it comes to like control bottom, like not really, man. Like he's more of a roly poly type of guy. And if you continue to keep taking this dude down, the more opportunities you give Kai Asakura on his feet, the more he's gonna get the ability to actually take you out with big strikes. So for that reason, I am going Kai Asakura via either decision or TKO.
Man, I got you, Henry. But Henry, this is a stacked card. When I say stacked card, I mean each and every fight, there's at least a name on here to where the fans are going to be excited about. Man, I mean, in that prelims, there's a couple of fights that I'm really looking forward to.
Your boy King Green is back. Did you see that?
Yeah, the artist formerly known as Bobby King Green is back in the building, and he's taking on Diego Ferreira. I mean, this is a really, really good fight because Diego Ferreira has been around. Diego's been around for a long, long time, and coming back, and I saw that his fight with Michael Johnson. I thought Michael Johnson was going to put it on him, and Michael Johnson was doing great, and then Diego was able to find a shot to put him away. So and Bobby, King Green. We all know once King Green gets going and he starts talking you up, hey, he's tuning you up as well. He's talking while he's tuning you up. So I'm looking forward to that fight. And of course, I'm looking forward to Edson Barboza taking on Drakkar Close. I mean, both guys like to throw hands, both guys like to bang. And I'm just excited. I think each and every one of these fights are bangers. UFC is stepping back into Chicago with a banging card.
Yeah, no, I tell you what, man. Chicago was when I became a double champ, dude. That place is Chicago's special to me. You know, when you win a title, dude. Like I know when you became champion, it was in Las Vegas. It's almost like Las Vegas became a special place for you. Chicago's when I beat Marlon Moraes, so now sprained ankle, torn shoulder, and still was able to become champ, dude. So I'll never forget it. But this card is, this card right now, dude. On paper, it could be fight of the year. I mean, we got Chase Hooper versus Hernandez. We have Jessica Andrade versus Godinez.
Lupi Godinez.
We have there's a lot of great fights here, but it is yet to show out because a lot of times, come on, we're like, this fight ain't that good. Next, you know it, these cars are dynamite, man. It all depends, man. When Dana White's out there, when he does the whole thing, is hey, you guys got to go out there to, kill or be killed. There's $50,000 on the line for those who put fight of the night. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. But I have a question from a casual for you, Kush. What do you make of Eric Nixick running up to Fluffy Hernandez and hugging him with a smile on his face after Fluffy finished the fighter that Eric Nixick was cornering? Good sportsmanship, fair or foul? Wow, I mean, look at by the scene of this damn picture. It's I can see where people can kind of take it wrong, but I think sometimes I think real recognizes real. This is how I see it. The same reason, and because I know Eric I won't say pretty well, but I know Eric, and I remember him kind of getting on Sean Strickland like he wasn't doing X, Y, and Z, and then he shouldn't have made it public or whatever, but it is what it is. But is this fair or foul? The hug, the smile. I personally, the way I take it is, I personally feel like Eric is I think he just recognized his game. He's like, hey, bro, like, fuck, man, you got me. I know how good my fighter is, and sometimes you got to give credit where it's due. And I feel like that's more of what Eric Nixick said. But I can also see how that the casuals kind of took it, or even fighters, because a lot of people, according to what I'm reading, is a lot of people are mad at Eric Nixon. A lot of people think that this was all, like it's almost like or it could be the fact that he's like, hey man, the fighter probably wasn't listening, and sometimes just emotion, you're like, hey man, that's what you get. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, that's my 2 cents. I feel like Eric Nixon is a tough love coach. Like he's a tough love dude. You know what I'm saying? I think I could be like that a little bit, Kamaru.
I have no idea what you just said, bruh. But what I do agree with you on is I can see how fighters or whoever is upset about this. Obviously, this was in my situation, but I can see how people are upset about it because if you zoom in to the right of the other coach that I'm guessing was cornering Roman Dolidze, yeah, that's usually when our fighter just got beat up. This is usually the look on our face. We're not exactly happy because we put time in with this guy. We definitely did everything we could to come out here. We ride with this guy. Part of you picking your corner, I know at least for me, is I'm picking the guys that I know would ride into battle with me if anything happened. I know the guys that I don't have to ask questions. I don't have to turn around and question them. I know if I'm getting in a situation in the scuffle in the hallway, everyone in my corner is getting in the scuffle. And so, just things like this. I think Eric Nixick is a great coach. I think Eric Nixick is a great coach. Definitely. We have a really good relationship. No, but I think sometimes maybe kind of forget how sensitive these situations potentially are to where yes, I understand. Maybe you have a relationship with Fluffy Hernandez and you wanted to just congratulate him. But you have to understand in a situation like this, the camera's on you. You can't be out here doing all of this because this is a moment that your fighter is going to remember forever. And especially if they're as really dialed in and mentally really obsessed about these fights. I go back and I'm watching this. Why is my coach so
Right.
lovey with this dude?
Right. Damn, Kamaru.
So
Fuck, you just changed my mind.
exactly.
You just changed my mind, bro. You're 100%
Yeah. So
right,
you
bro.
can't.
This is foul. This is foul, Kamaru. I mean, it
Yeah.
is. I mean,
I'm
if
just
if we're
saying. In the
being
back, you
honest,
could have done this in the back.
so is this fair or foul, Kamaru? And I don't want to hear your freaking long ass
I
answer.
would say foul because I believe Eric Nixick potentially forgot that you were in front of the camera. You could have done this in the back. You don't need to do this out in front right after the fight, in the cage. I think this could have waited. And so I think this is foul right here.
Kamaru
But I
Dean,
love Eric Nicksick. I think he's a great
Kamaru
coach, but I
Dean,
think this
dude,
is foul.
you should be a lawyer, bro. You're 100% right, bro. The way you're 100% right, man. Like I would, and you're right. It probably could have been done behind closed doors or whatever. Because you're right, dude. It's like when it's just you hit the nail on the head, bro. That's all I gotta say, dude. I gotta agree with you. I think as a coach, you don't want to see that, and if they do know each other, you just do it elsewhere. But I mean, that being said, dude, I agree with you. Eric Nixon is a great coach. He's a good dude. He's always treating with a bunch of love. But sometimes he just has to maybe come out and say, "Hey, man, I fucked up. Maybe I shouldn't have done it in public, in the limelight." But that being said, man, uh, good luck to Eric Nixon and all of his fighters. I mean, I hope they could all rekindle and make that shit up. I don't know what else to say.
Well,
Close
Henry,
this out,
UFC
Kamaru. Close this
3
out. I'm getting nervous over here.
Nueva. 319 taking place this Saturday live from Chicago, Illinois. I can't wait. Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. The wait is finally over. Khamzat Chimaev is in the country and he's ready to scrap. So I'm excited. I hope you are. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Yeah. Well, Henry, as always, what's my name again? Oh, yeah. The Nigerian Nightmare. Glazing up today. You see me?
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
And we are out.